The British Empire was powered by oil, but they didn't own any major oil companies.
Let's fast forward back into, well, not the present, where Sykes and Picot are drawing with their crayon on a handkerchief. So tell us more specifics about the borders they decided to create and why they did it in that way.
Okay, so there's a couple of things going on. One of them is oil. They know there's oil there. You gotta remember that the British Empire is a naval empire. Everything is based on ships. So if you're gonna have oil-powered ships and you don't have access to oil, your empire's finished. So they're freaking out when Royal Dutch buys Shell. There was really only one other major oil corporation on the planet at the time, and it was Standard Oil, and that of course belonged to the United States. And so there were these two big oil companies, and the British didn't own either one of them. Now, having said that, the British had a great relationship with the Netherlands, and the British had a great relationship with the United States. So it wasn't like they were owned by two rival states. It wasn't like it was France and Germany that owned the oil companies. It's just that the British were concerned, what if something down the road changes or shifts? There's a bad election in the United States, or the Dutch decide they're more German and they want to go that direction. And so the British decide they have to have their own oil resources. So the way you looked for oil back then was you walked staring at the ground, and you were hoping to find like black shale or black sandstone, a porous rock that acts like a sponge, because if it's sitting on top of an oil field, it'll literally suck the oil into it and turn black. Or because there was so much oil on the planet at the time, you could literally step in a puddle of oil, and then that would be a big indication that there was oil. When the United States found oil in Pennsylvania, they found it at a place called Oil Creek. In other words, there was a really big hint there was probably oil there. And the reason the creek got named Oil is the creek was cutting through the oil field, and then oil floats. So there was this sheen of oil on top of the creek. And I bet there's oil here. Let's dig.
Do you think Britain would have still carved up the Middle East if oil hadn't been involved? Or was it always just about control? Let me know what you think in the comments.